You know what no one tells you about weight loss is that you can do everything right, and I mean everything, and still feel like you're losing a war against your own body. And I spent an entire year like that, meal prepping every Sunday like it was my religion, dragging myself to the gym 6 days a week, counting every single calorie like my life depended on it. And you know what happened? I gained 15 pounds and almost gave up completely. I'm Dr. Nina, a licensed psychologist, professor, and coach. And here's what makes my approach different. I understand how your brain and your body work together. And look, boo, I've also lived this twice. I lost over 100 pounds in my early 20s, maintained that for almost 2 decades. And then I had my little daughter at 40. And I'm currently 40 pounds down postpartum and still transforming. So when I tell you that doing everything right almost destroyed me, I understand the psychology and the biology behind why. But then something shifted. I stopped fighting myself and started collaborating with my body. Everything changed. So today I'm breaking down the 3 real shifts that took me from gaining weight while starving myself to actually losing 40 pounds and eating more while stressing less. And I'm warning you, this is going to sound completely backwards.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
Now do me a favor, drop "I'm ready" in the comments with today's date, especially if you're ready to try something different. And hit the like button if you're done with the advice that doesn't work. Let me tell you about the moment I realized that everything I knew about weight loss was wrong. I was standing on the scale for about the 3rd time that week. This was before I was introduced to my human body pod. And I was 6 months postpartum. I had eaten 1,200 calories every single day. Wrong. I'd done an hour of cardio 5 times. I'd meal prepped chicken and broccoli until I wanted to cry. And that number on the scale, 3 pounds higher than the week before. The nerve. At one point, I sat on my bedroom floor and I just cried. Not just because of the number, but because I didn't recognize my body anymore. Click like if you can relate, if you've ever gotten to that point with your journey. After having my baby at 40, everything changed. My body changed in ways that I wasn't prepared for. And I felt so sad about it, like I'd lost myself. I kept thinking, I'd done this before. I'd lost 100 pounds in my 20s. And dang, I kept it off almost 20 years. Why can't I do it now? What's fundamentally wrong with me? And baby, I saw the other moms bouncing back. I ain't blind. Just eat less and move more. It's simple. And look, the more I heard it, the more I wanted to scream because I was eating less. I was moving more. And my body was still actively working against me. Here's what I wish someone had told me then. My postpartum body wasn't a problem. My body was trying to save my life. Because to your ancient biology, a 1,200 calorie diet with intense cardio, especially while recovering from pregnancy and caring for a baby, that looks like starvation mode. And your body's one job? That's to keep you alive. So this slowed my metabolism to a crawl. It cranked up them hunger hormones. It held onto every single calorie like we were heading into a famine. And not because I was broken, but because my body was acting just as it was designed to. And here's the thing about life and getting older and postpartum and anything else you might be encountering. Just living through a body that's been through things. Your body changes. Your hormones changed. Your stress levels may have skyrocketed. Your sleep disappeared. Think of the past. Your metabolism may not be what it was at 25. And that's okay. Everything that used to work doesn't work the same anymore. That's not failure and that's not weakness. That's life. That's your body carrying the beautiful hard evidence of everything you've survived and also what you've created. And it deserves a different approach, one that's kinder, smarter, and works with who you are right now. So I'm walking you through everything that helped to shift my mind and my body. And I'm not talking full theory. This is what happens when you start changing what you're doing and honoring who you are now. Let's get into it. Shift 1, I stopped declaring war. So that's shift number 1. I stopped treating fat loss like a battle I had to win through suffering. For an entire year, y'all, I swear I was in war with my body. My mindset at the time was the more it hurts, the better it's working. I even cut calories to 1,200 at a point, and sometimes less. Doubled the cardio sessions and sometimes living on willpower and rage. And for 2 weeks, yeah, the scale dropped. I felt so victorious, but then them wheels came off. And my body did what it was designed to do when it thinks it's dying. It fought back with everything it had. So here's what actually happens with your body when you're going into the extreme mode. Your body can't tell the difference between a diet or a famine. So it activates ancient survival programming. Your thyroid function drops. Your leptin, the hormone that says we're full, that plummets. Your ghrelin, the hunger hormone, it skyrockets. You're not just hungry, you're hormonally hungry. Your body is chemically hijacking your willpower because it thinks you're in danger. The breakthrough came when I stopped trying to force my body into submission and I negotiated with it. And what I did was added intermittent fasting. I followed that good old 16-8 pattern. There's other patterns out there, but that's the one that works for me. 16 hours of fasting, most of that is sleeping, 8 hours of eating. So I stop eating around 8:30 p.m. and I don't start again until 12:30 the next day. No breakfast, just black coffee or water in the morning. But here's why this helps. When you're not constantly eating, your insulin levels drop and stay low. Low insulin signals to your body that it's safe, more specifically that it's safe to burn stored fat for energy. And this also improves insulin sensitivity, meaning that your body uses food more efficiently when you do eat. And someone asked me about whether or not I agree with this or use this even as a woman who's hormonal now. Absolutely. Now, I think you do have to find what works for you, and you do need to be checking in with your doctor and getting your blood test done to figure out what's going on. I have a lot of videos that talk about those, but I find that it works for me. Again, you have to try things out and see what works best for your body and your given needs. And I'm going to tell you, this whole process simplified my life. I'm not thinking about food first thing in the morning. I'm not prepping a breakfast or hangry. I have mental clarity and stable energy until lunch. But, and this is crucial, I didn't slash my total calories like that. I just condensed my eating window. So naturally you eat less. And when I do eat, I know I'm getting enough. Instead of spreading 1,200 calories across the day and being miserable, I eat about 1,500 to 1,900 in my eating window, and I actually feel satisfied. So what does this look like? 12:30, big protein packed lunch. Chicken, rice, tons of veggies, or even a protein shake or a coffee protein shake. Around 3 or 4, a substantial snack. Greek yogurt and berries and nuts, or I like my Nutriel low carb granola. And around 7:30 p.m., I have a filling dinner. That's like salmon, sweet potato, roasted vegetables, chicken, or mixed vegetables. Other things that I like and enjoy. And what happens is more food in less time. My body feels nourished and not deprived and punished. And the fasting period gives my digestive system a break, and my hormones get a little time to recalibrate. And within 2 weeks of that, something shifted. Energy returned, brain fog lifted, and my cravings decreased. And the scale has started moving down the right way, slowly, steadily, and sustainably. And before we move forward, I need to say something as somebody who understands how the brain and body work together. If you've been doing everything right and still struggling, see your doctor. I'm serious. Before you start any major changes, make sure you get your comprehensive blood work done. So just to give you an inkling of what types of tests to ask for: a complete thyroid panel, TSH, free T3, free T4, insist on all three and not just TSH. Fasting insulin and glucose, that screens for insulin resistance. Vitamin D and B12, deficiencies tank energy and mood. Iron panel and ferritin, low iron actually mimics laziness. And morning cortisol levels. High cortisol blocks fat loss. These tests reveal exactly what's happening inside your body, not just what you think. If your thyroid is sluggish, if you're pre-diabetic, if your cortisol is chronically elevated, no amount of discipline is going to fix that medical issue. You need targeted treatments for your specific situation. And if your doctor brushes you off and says, look, everything looks normal, but you know something is wrong, find another doctor. Take the time. Ask around. You deserve someone who listens. Now, speaking of making nutrition work for you instead of against you, let me tell you something that made my eating window so much easier. And that's today's sponsor, Hungryroot. Here's my reality. I'm intermittent fasting 16/8, which means that when my eating window opens around 12:30 p.m., I need real food that's ready to go. I'm a busy mama. I'm working. And I don't have time to scramble trying to figure out what to eat when it's time to break my fast because I'm hungry. And Hungryroot takes all of the decision fatigue out of that. And thanks to Hungryroot for sponsoring today's video. They fill your cart with personalized picks, and they plan your entire week of meals. Over 15,000 recipes to choose from. Most of them are ready in 15 minutes or less. Get into it. Which, when you've got a toddler and you're starving at 12:30 p.m., life-saving. You take a quick quiz about your eating pattern, your dietary needs, your health goals, and their smart cart technology customizes everything for you. Not some cookie cutter plan. Your groceries, your recipes, even supplements tailored to your life. What I love is they screen out over 200 additives. No high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, and no preservatives. Just clean ingredients my body actually recognizes and uses. High quality meat and seafood. No hormones and no antibiotics. And brands I already trust like Oatly, Vital Farms, and Ithaca Hummus. I love me some hummus. And their best price programs means that I'm saving money compared to my old grocery shopping runs. No more impulse buying or weird stuff that I don't even know I'm getting. No more food waste. And no more emergency takeout at night because I didn't plan ahead. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use code Dr. Nina. That's 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life at hungryroot.com with code Dr. Nina. Okay, let's get into that shift 2 where I completely changed how I think about exercise. Shift 2 is I built muscle that worked for me. So I stopped using exercise to punish my body because I used to actually love it and something happened. And I started using it to transform my metabolism. During my failure, that first year postpartum, Cardio was my religion. Hour-long treadmill sessions. Stair climber until my legs shook. I genuinely believed that if I just burned enough calories, the fat would have no choice but to leave. And that's not how bodies work. Here's the difference. Cardio is a transaction. You burn X calories during the session, then it's over. Done. Your metabolism goes right back to where it started. Muscle is an investment though. It pays dividends 24/7. Every pound of muscle tissue that you build, it increases your resting metabolic rate. That means that you're burning more calories just brushing your teeth, sitting in traffic, sleeping. Your body becomes more metabolically expensive to run. But here's what nobody tells you. You can't just do strength training and expect results. You have to give your muscles a reason to grow. And that's where progressive overload comes in. This is a non-negotiable. If you're not tracking your weights and reps, you're probably spinning your wheels. I've seen women in the gym lifting the same weights every week, and then we wonder why nothing changes. Here's my system. Last week, 10 hip thrusts at about 135 pounds, or maybe just some overhead barbell weights at 80 pounds. This week, either 11 reps at 135 pounds or 10 reps at 145 every single week. I'm challenging my muscles to adapt and to form. And walking, not for the reasons you think. I don't walk for calorie burn. Not anymore. I walk for hormonal regulation. 10,000 steps daily keeps cortisol in check. High cortisol signals to your body to store fat. Unfortunately, especially around the midsection. Walking is like a gentle reset button for your hormones. Plus, it improves insulin sensitivity, which helps your body to use food for energy instead of storage. Now, as a postpartum mama, this was critical. Between sleep deprivation, hormonal chaos, and the mental load of keeping a tiny human alive, and still loving my husband, my cortisol levels were through the roof. Walking became a non-negotiable stress management. So here's my formula. Strength training at least 3 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes, no questions. Progressive overload is tracked rigorously. So you know I love apps. Train Well is a great one. 10,000 steps daily, broken up with baby, whatever works. You got to get it in how you can get it in. And 0 hours of mandatory cardio. Even though I'm loving running again, it's still not mandatory. Within 6 weeks, my body composition shifted noticeably. The scale barely moved, maybe about a pound or 2 a week. But my waist got smaller, baby. I was more snatched. My arms got more defined. My legs got more shapely. I was building the body that would maintain this overall weight loss. And that was without consistent suffering. Shift 3, I stress-proofed everything. Shift number 3 is the one that made everything else possible. I treated stress management like medicine, not self-care. Here's what I learned the hard way. You can have perfect nutrition and even train like an athlete. But chaotic stress will sabotage everything through a single hormone, cortisol. When cortisol stays elevated, which happens through sleep deprivation, emotional stress, overtraining, chronic dieting, 3 things happen. 3, your body preferentially stores fat around your organs and midsection. Your insulin resistance increases, making fat loss nearly impossible. Your thyroid function decreases, tanking your metabolism. As a postpartum mom, my cortisol was chronically elevated. I was running on adrenaline and coffee. I was sleeping in 2-hour chunks, and I was constantly in fight or flight mode. And I was wondering why my body refused to let go of the weight even though I was doing everything right. So I implemented the 3 non-negotiables. Number 1, sleep became sacred. Not when I got around to it, not if the baby cooperates. I structured my whole life in order to get more sleep. Of course, I want to say 7 to 8 hours, but that doesn't happen every time. But that meant earlier bedtimes, making sure that night duties were split with my husband. And y'all, honestly, he a G. He the one that really gets up whenever little Hunter needs him. And saying no to certain evening commitments. During deep sleep, your body repairs damaged tissues. It balances the hunger hormones. And it literally clears the metabolic waste from your brain. Skip it, and you're literally trying to lose weight with one hand tied behind your back. Number 2 is the 5-5-5 breathing technique. When stress hit, screaming toddler, work deadline, overwhelm. I stop and breathe. 5 seconds in through the nose, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds out through the mouth. 3 rounds. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. It's the psychological opposite of stress. 90 seconds total, but it literally changes your biochemistry. Number 3, movement as stress relief and not punishment. My 10,000 steps weren't about burning calories. They were about processing cortisol, regulating my blood sugar, and giving my nervous system a break from constant stimulation. I want you to comment below. What's your current biggest source of stress? Is it work, family, or something else? Within 3 weeks of prioritizing these 3 things, my weight loss literally accelerated. Not because I changed my diet or training, but because my body finally felt safe enough to change. Here's the part that separates temporary weight loss from permanent transformation. Identity shift. During my failed child year, I was trying to force behaviors that didn't match my identity. I saw myself as someone who struggled with weight, who had to fight her body, who probably would gain it all back eventually. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I always have it in the back of my head. So even when I did the right things, I was always fighting against who I really was. The shift happened when I stopped trying to be disciplined and started becoming someone different. Every morning before checking my phone, I'd look in the mirror at myself and state who I was becoming, looking at myself, flaws and all. I'm a woman who honors her body. I make choices that serve my future self. I'm strong, I'm capable, and I'm getting better every day. Not affirmations, identity statements. At first, it felt like I was lying. But here's what neuroscience shows. Your brain's reticular activating system, it filters reality based on your beliefs about yourself. When you declare a new identity, your brain starts scanning for new evidence to support it. You start noticing when you make good choices. You start remembering times when you follow through. You start seeing yourself differently. And slowly, the identity stops seeming aspirational and it starts being actual. I'd hunt for evidence daily. Choosing water over soda, evidence. Hit my protein goal, evidence. Lifted heavier than last week, evidence. My brain collected proof that I was becoming the new version of myself. Within 3 months, eating more, training smarter, managing stress, I'd lost 25 pounds. Within 6 months, I'd lost 40. But more importantly, I've become someone who didn't struggle with weight anymore. And not because I'm special, but because I changed who I believed I was. All right, y'all, let me bring this home. Here's the 3 shifts that work after a year of everything else failing. Shift 1, stop declaring war on your body. Intermittent fasting, 16-8 worked for me. Eating about 1,500 to 1,900 calories during that eating window. High protein, around 140 grams or more. Getting proper blood work done to see what's happening with my body. Shift 2, build the muscle that works for you. Strength training 3 times a week with progressive overload tracked religiously. Walking 10,000 steps a day for cortisol control. Turn your body into a fat burning machine that works 24/7. Shift 3, stress proof your progress. Sleep is sacred. 7 to 8 hours if you can get it. Should be non-negotiable or whatever you can get to. 5-5-5 breathing when stress hits. Walking as stress medicine, not calorie burn. These aren't sexy. They're not quick fixes either, but they're what work when everything else failed for an entire year. If you're stuck right now, if you've been doing everything right and seeing nothing happen, I promise you're not broken. You just haven't found the right approach for your body yet. So do me a favor, drop "I'm ready" down in the comments, especially if you're going to try one of these shifts this week. Tell me which one you're starting with. Go ahead and smash that like button and get in on the real talk about life, changes, health, fitness, mental health, all of it. We do it all over here. And comment and share this video with someone who can use it. Look, you got this. Stop fighting your body. Start working with it. Let's make this the last time you ever have to restart. All right, y'all. Dr. Nina signing out. Peace.